Hello there, everybody. We are now should be broadcasting live. I hope you can both hear me and see me. I know sometimes with the way we do this, there we go. I'm just testing it. Looks like it's working, but you might have to refresh your screen. So I am going to go ahead and join that chat roll. If you'll scroll down below the video here, you're going to see a big yellow button. I'm going to explain all that later as we go through the webinar. Sure, you're going to click on it and check it out yourself. I'm sure there's a webinar special there. Below that's the full spinal hygiene product site. You can see that if you want to. We're going to talk about that in a little bit after our training. I'm going to post in the chat. Hey, Dr. Tabor here. Go ahead and post if you can hear me and see me. Let me know that where you're coming in from. I know that we have I'm saying international probably on this webinar here tonight. There we go. Now, if some people still haven't refreshed their screen, you should see me live on the video there. I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody that they should refresh their screen if they can't see the video. All right, good deal. So we're going to have the way I do things. Obviously, I have YouTube. I use YouTube Live to just put this live video right on the web page. All you had to do is click on the link. Anybody can get here. So it's not protected right now, although I will take this video down after 24 hours. I'll leave the replay up, be able to send it out. And I'll take down the buttons and all of that later. But so there's probably a lot more people on the webinar at any moment. I always encourage people to log into the chat roll. That way we can kind of see how many people are here, get an idea. My mentor or somebody I follow, Brendan Burchard, he says about 25% of people will actually log into the chat roll. But feel free to do that. I can hear it whenever you put a chat in the chat roll, so I can go back and answer any questions. If you like what we're saying, comment on it, ask questions. You're all welcome. We just launched a new spinal hygiene funnel at spinalhygiene.co. That's spinalhygiene.co. And a lot of you are here because of that funnel. We had some really cool stuff in there. A whole practice growth kit that you can download for free, a book. You can go through, get the in-office workshop, the lunch and learn workshop, a free home spinal care kit sent right to your door. And a lot of you did that. So those purchases have been processed. They are about to get on the way to you. So you should be expecting those in the mail pretty soon. That's just a really, really cool little funnel that we did there and launched it last weekend. And then I spent this weekend at Rubicon in Atlanta, which was actually really neat. There was just some top-notch people, speakers there. Bruce Lipton from the Biology Belief, he was speaking there. And then just a lot of cool people. So it was a good weekend. All right, as we're getting started here, looks like we've got about a dozen people on. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started here with the webinar training. But like I said, even as I'm going through this training today, feel free to post any questions or comments, and I will make sure that I refresh my screen and get to them as soon as I can. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to sharing the screen here. All right. You should be able to see the PowerPoint here. And today's presentation and training is how to increase retention, educate your patients about lifetime spinal care, and reach more people in your community at the same time. All right, this is important. I believe this is one of the most important subjects we can talk about right now, especially in the chiropractic profession. And I'll tell you why. As you probably already know, I am a chiropractor. I'm practicing. I'm with you every day in the trenches. It's not the easiest thing in the world to show up every day, adjust patients all day long, get out there and market, try to grow a practice, reach more people, and share a message that isn't yet really mainstream, or at least not household, right? I mean, we're getting more and more mainstream, um, but I think as chiropractors, you got to love what you do. And I definitely do, even though it's hard work. I've been practicing over 10 years. I adjust almost every shift that we have in our main office. We have 2 chiropractic offices. This is something I was really proud of. I just passed a while back. I passed the 150,000th adjustment given mark in my career. Um, I've been keeping stats, tracking about how many people I've been adjusting every week. I can kind of estimate that, and I know I've passed 150,000 adjustments in my career, which I'm just super honored and proud of, be able to affect that many people. We have hundreds of families that come into our office that are on just lifetime wellness plans. I give I'd say over 100 live presentations a year. I consider this a live presentation. I travel a lot. I do doctor's reports, do workshops every month in my office, do online presentations, and I believe spinal hygiene will explode chiropractic. And I'm going to share with you more about why spinal hygiene will explode chiropractic. Notice I didn't say your office. I said chiropractic. I really think it will elevate it to the next level. But you know what? It will explode your office too. We can't explode chiropractic without exploding our own offices. And if you're like me, and you may not be like me, I know, I totally get it. There's a lot of chiropractors out there that are not like me. Totally fine with that. But if you are like me, then you know that to be happy with your career, then you've got to at least try to build a wellness based practice. And maybe the word wellness can mean something different to you than it does to me, but to me, it's about lifetime spinal care. I've got to be educating patients, helping them to have a healthier spine and nervous system. That's what I want to do. And I've noticed that the only way that I can do that and educate my patients about lifetime spinal care is to teach them about spinal hygiene and how important it is for them to practice spinal hygiene on a regular basis. You see, the spinal hygiene concept will do 2 things. It will help you, the individual chiropractor, the chiropractic office, improve your compliance, grow retention, grow a bigger, stronger practice, maybe even enjoy practice more, or even get better results for your patients. All those things are great. But like I said before, I believe it will help grow the chiropractic profession as a whole, help us reach the masses, help us become more respected and accepted worldwide, and help us take our rightful place among the leading healthcare professions in the world. I believe it'll help millions of people prevent spinal decay when they implement lifetime spinal care. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem. Okay, I'm jumping right in here, and I want to tell you that I believe this is the biggest problem to face society. Certainly the biggest problem, I think, in chiropractic to face chiropractors, and that is spinal degeneration. And I'm talking about osteoarthritis. I'm talking about degenerative disc disease, whatever you want to call it. It's spinal degeneration. It's the silent epidemic because almost everyone in our world, especially in today's day and age, in today's culture, in our sedentary lifestyles and poor postures and technology-driven world, almost everyone has spinal degeneration at some point in their life. In fact, I took the statistics from different studies that I found. I even show you right here on the screen where I found them. But the American Journal of Neuroradiology says 96% of 80-year-olds have degenerative disc disease. Look, I want you to know that I'm not talking about normal aging here. Okay, I'm talking about degenerative disc disease. Yes, I know that on your favorite TV shows like Bones and CSI, that they're able to find a cadaver and they're able to identify the age of the cadaver by looking at the bones. That's normal aging. I am not talking about that. I'm talking about degenerative disc disease, right? This is a breakdown or a degeneration of an area of the spine. Chicago Institute of Neurosurgery says that 85% of 50-year-olds in today's day and age have degenerative disc disease. And we used to think that, arthritis just comes from old age. How many times have you heard that? Well, not anymore. And today we see the American Journal of Neuroradiology says that almost 40% of 20-year-olds have degenerative disc disease. And let me tell you, over the last decade, I've been taking thousands of x-rays in my office. I know a lot of you that are listening and watching right here, you've been taking x-rays over maybe even multiple decades. And I guarantee you, if we were to talk face to face, you'd probably agree with me that spines are getting worse, that arthritis, degeneration, degenerative disc disease is getting more prevalent in younger and younger ages. And you're right. You're absolutely right. This is a serious, serious problem. There was a study released by a group of Scottish researchers back in 2004, and they showed that what they did was they took over 1,000 10-year-olds and they put them through MRI machines, and these were asymptomatic kids, right? So no pain yet, but because of this sedentary lifestyle, obesity, poor postures, all of these types of things, they say that 9% of 10-year-olds have the beginning stages of degenerative disc disease already. And look, this is not something I'm just making up. This is not something that you're just seeing on your x-rays. Watch this. A quote from 2003, the CDC says, by 2020, it is expected that the number of people with OA may have doubled. Quote unquote, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that arthritis is getting worse and it's getting more prevalent and it's becoming a huge, huge problem. And I want to recommend right now a way to address this by taking a page from the history books. And I want to tell you about the story of dentistry. You see, back in the early 1900s, because of mass food productions, industrialization, sugars that were coming into our diet, teeth were rotting. Okay, this is called tooth decay, right? And dentists, if you were a dentist back in the early 1900s, your job was to pull teeth. That's what you did. Tooth decay was epidemic. People were in their 20s or 30s, they would have half their teeth removed. Now, just before this, back in the late 1800s, a doctor, he was actually a dentist and a medical doctor by the name of Willoughby D. Miller. He discovered the cause of tooth decay. He discovered that food particles build up in the teeth, and then bacteria that's in your mouth digest those food particles. They secrete a byproduct, which is acid. Okay, so basically their digestion and the secretion of the byproduct, it's acid and it decays your enamel. And they discovered that's the cause of tooth decay. That's important because it was after that, when tooth decay was still rampantly present, that the father of dental hygiene, Dr. Alfred Fones, he actually said, you know what, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of pulling teeth. Everyone's doing this. We've got to implement some type of preventative measures. We've got to step up. We've got to teach people to take care of their teeth. He actually turned his niece into the first dental hygienist in his office. But you know what? People did not accept dental hygiene right off the bat. In fact, dentists didn't embrace dental hygiene. In fact, I've been surprised at how open and accepting chiropractors are of spinal hygiene. And if you follow me on any of my social media, you know I've been traveling like crazy this year. I think I've been to 6 different events or 7 different events already this year, and everybody's been so accepting of spinal hygiene. They're just like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Even my patients, the public, other healthcare professionals, totally accepting. But that wasn't the case when it came to dental hygiene in the early 1900s. In fact, dentists were of 3 different mindsets. Some dentists did not believe it was possible that you could prevent tooth decay. Some dentists thought there was just too much money in pulling teeth. They believe if you educate people how to take care of their teeth, you're going to lead us into obscurity, right? We're making good money. We're pulling teeth. Why are you trying to ruin that, right? That's what a lot of dentists thought. And then other dentists, they said, well, just people won't invest, not the time, the energy, the money, the effort to taking care of their teeth. They just didn't believe it would happen. In fact, and I found this in a old book. It said in 1910, the Ohio College of Dental Surgery created a course to train dentists to better promote oral health, but it was closed down by the dentists themselves, who felt that preventative care was too costly for the patient and too time consuming for themselves. So, you know what? It wasn't always an easy road for dentists. And I don't think it's going to be an easy road for us to share this message with the masses, but they did it. They changed the world. They changed the health of thousands, millions, billions of people in today's society. And they created an awareness that you should take care of your teeth or it will decay. There is no awareness for spinal hygiene. There's no awareness. If you ask somebody on the street, should you take care of your spine or what will happen? They're not going to say, oh yeah, it will degenerate if I don't take care of it. No, because there's no awareness. There is an awareness for dental health. There is no awareness for spinal health. And it's just our fault. And all we have to do is take responsibility and share this message and create that awareness. And it's not going to be that hard. In fact, the key is deductive reasoning. Okay, let me explain this. Um, so Patrick Gentimpo talks about this a lot. Like, we don't need $1 million studies to show us common sense things. Like, how many of you listening, let me just ask you, how many of you listening brush your teeth? And you've probably got kids, family members, they probably brush their teeth, right? In fact, the statistics show 98% of Americans brush their teeth. Now, let me ask you, how many of you have read a double-blind placebo study published in a peer-reviewed journal showing that brushing your teeth is effective and ethical and prevents tooth decay? Pause for a while if you want to put an answer in there if you've read that. Of course you haven't. Because it's common sense. We don't need $1 million worth of double-blind placebo-based studies showing me that brushing my teeth is good for me. All I need to know is what dentistry showed, right? Deductive reasoning, that if bacteria building up in my teeth eat the food particles in my teeth and then secrete an acid, and that acid breaks down the enamel, and that causes tooth decay, then if I brush my teeth regularly and clean the bacteria out of my teeth and the food out of my teeth, I've got a better chance of preventing tooth decay. Doesn't mean it won't ever get a cavity, right? But it means I'm giving myself the best chance of preventing tooth decay. And obviously that deductive reasoning makes perfect sense. I mean, we use this every day in chiropractic. We really do. We say that the nervous system is the master system of the body, it controls every function of the body. That then we say that any interference to the master system would then affect the function of the body. And we know that subluxation interferes with the nervous system. Therefore, adjustments remove subluxation. And if we can remove subluxation, we can improve the function of the master system, therefore improving the function of the body, right? It's just common sense, even though we need studies out there. And I am not slamming studies, guys. I mean, power to the people who are still out there doing studies, and we need them all the time. And I think it would be great if we could team up and do some studies in long-term spinal hygiene and wellness care, and get even some clinical, um, uh, some published just clinical trials, maybe even on some of this stuff. And I'll work on that. But I'm just saying, this is common sense. It's an awareness that if we don't take care of something, it breaks down. If you don't take care of your car, it's going to break down eventually. If you don't take care of your body, it's going to break down eventually. Look at somebody who's unhealthy and overweight. It wasn't because they really tried to get there. It was because they just let it go. They just didn't take care of it. So it's common sense. Sedentary lifestyle, poor posture, poor alignment, lack of motion contributes to spinal decay. There's hundreds, if not thousands of studies out there that will back that up. And therefore, if we can improve alignment, improve range of motion, and improve strength, then we're at least reducing the effects of spinal decay. And what I'm going to talk about here in just a second is actually imbibition and Wolff's Law. We talk about specifically, right? There's even a study there at the bottom that's this one specific study that I found that says there's a substantial link between spinal degeneration and sedentary lifestyle, right? So this is not something that can be denied. We know what causes spinal degeneration. Certainly, there are some unpredictable things, right? There may be car accidents, injuries, maybe there's even a little bit of hereditary factors. Whatever, if there's some unpredictable things that cause arthritis, there's some unpredictable things that cause cavities in your teeth, right? We still know brushing is important. And so when we talk about spinal hygiene education and patient education in our offices, we want to talk about teaching people about the 3 core concepts of spinal hygiene. And these 3 core concepts cannot be denied. I'm sorry, they cannot be denied. In our profession, in the profession of chiropractic over the years, we are known for not agreeing with each other. But you really can't disagree with these 3 areas. Okay, let me show you. Number 1, we say that the spine should be in a certain alignment. Now, you can maybe argue with me that there's a range of alignment, but you can't say that scoliosis is normal. That would be ridiculous. We'd be laughing at you, right? So the spine should be straight from the front. It should have natural curves from the side. Do me a favor, look in any anatomy book ever published in the entire world, and try to find a spine that is not straight from the front and has natural curves from the sides. Leonardo da Vinci discovered this way back thousands of years ago when he did the first cadaver studies. He drew the spine straight from the front, curves from the side. You just can't deny that. Number two, the spine should move through a full range of motion symmetrically. This cannot be denied either. It's even more well known than spinal alignment. It's published thousands and thousands of studies that pertaining to range of motion, proper range of motion, lack of range of motion. We can actually measure this all day long, right? You can't deny that the spine should move through full range of motion. The muscles around the spine should be strong and healthy, or strong and fit, right? And we can't deny that either. We know that abnormal muscles, spasms are not good. We know that tonicities need to be balanced, right? And so these three core concepts of spinal hygiene work really well as a base understanding for patients. If they just know my spine should be in a certain alignment, my spine should move through a full range of motion, the muscles around it should be strong and fit, then you're giving them a goal. You're helping them to understand what wellness is, what a healthy spine is. You know, we tell them to come in our office over and over and over and over, but we really don't even understand or have explained to them what a healthy spine means. Good alignment, good range of motion, strong muscles, right? And then chiropractic is poised to be the perfect profession to own spinal hygiene. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, physical therapy could own spinal hygiene if they decide that's what they want to do and they start teaching people to do stretches or something, right? Medicine could try to own spinal hygiene. I don't think they will, because they love to prescribe drugs and do surgeries. But chiropractic is perfect to own spinal hygiene, because by definition, any lack of those three things, alignment, range of motion, or strength, could be or is part of the vertebral subluxation complex, and that should be corrected by a board certified chiropractor. And just like you can't correct a cavity by brushing, you can't correct a subluxation by stretching, guys. We have to be adjusted to correct subluxation. Look, it's like a cavity. You can't correct a cavity by brushing your teeth. You've got to go to the dentist to get that cavity corrected. And that's why they own dental hygiene. You can't correct a subluxation by exercising. You got to go to a chiropractor to get that corrected. That's why we need to own spinal hygiene, because spinal hygiene exercises help to maintain the health and prevent breakdown of the spine, but they're not necessarily a treatment. They're not care, right? That's for your office. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever and left there without a toothbrush? Have you ever had an appointment for a teeth cleaning, for a cavity correction, for whatever it is, and left without a toothbrush? In fact, my dentist, it's an entire packet every time you go in. They give you this big old packet that has like several toothbrushes in it, these like different types of floss, and like all this new stuff I've never even seen before. It's like a whole packet you get every time you go to the dentist. Why would they do that? Why would a dentist give you a packet of toothbrushes and floss when they don't make their money off of brushing your teeth? In fact, the worse health your teeth is, probably the more money they make, right? So why do they waste their time teaching you to floss and giving you toothbrushes? Because they know that the best patients they have, their lifetime patients, are the ones who take better care of their teeth, the ones who have an awareness of dental health, the ones who brush every day and floss every day. Those are lifetime patients for that office. And that's why they spend their time owning dental hygiene and teaching you to take care of your teeth from home. So it's all about simplicity. Look, I have like modules on exercise science. So I totally get, like, any type of exercise is going to be healthy for the spine, right? If you're a CrossFitter, if you do yoga, if you go to the gym and exercise, if you get some motion and movement in your day, you're probably going to have a healthier spine than the average person. I mean, maybe not always, but it's good for you. Exercise is good for your spine. But it's all about simplicity, guys. Simple, simple, simple. Let's say if a toothbrush had to have a prescription, like let's say I had to go to the dentist and get a special prescription for my toothbrush, and then it took me an hour a day to brush my teeth. People wouldn't do it. That never would have went viral. if you needed a prescription to get a toothbrush and you couldn't just get one and start using it, right? So many exercises may help with your alignment or range of motion or strength, but in order for hygiene exercises to become a habit, they got to be daily, they got to be simple, they've got to be effective, and I think they've got to be general, right? So not prescriptive. Prescription is for in your office for correcting subluxation. All right, that's why we have very simple layouts of our exercises. If you've went to our new funnel, spinalhygiene.co, spinalhygiene.co, you can download this form, right? And these are our 4 spinal hygiene exercises: the range of motion stretches, the TheraBand exercise, the wobble disc exercise, and the spinal molding exercise. And I want to show you why we chose these exercises. We always say, spinal or range of motion in the morning, spinal molding at night, just like you brush your teeth, and then the TheraBand exercise and the wobble ball exercise during your day, just like you floss, right? Well, why would we choose these 4 specific exercises? Other than they're simple, they're very general, they don't need prescribed, right? So they can actually fit in someone's spinal hygiene packet, so that if they take home their spinal hygiene kit, their family can do these exercises. That's important. The reason we chose these 4 is because of effectiveness. Let me ask you, what are the 2 most commonly degenerative discs in the spine, or degenerative areas of the spine? Everyone is going to say C5 and L5. I mean, you know this. Those are the 2 most common degenerative areas of the spine. If you look at any x-rays and somebody that's sedentary, older, hasn't been maintaining their spine, you're going to see the C5 area, right, give or take a disc up or down, and then L5 disc or L4. You're going to see degeneration there most commonly. In fact, it's like crazy prevalent. In fact, the kids where they were doing that MRI on 10-year-olds, they saw the beginnings of OA, osteoarthritis or degenerative disc disease, present in some of these 2 areas, C5 and L5. That's why we chose the exercises that we did, because the 2 most degenerative postures in the world are causing those 2 areas to degenerate at faster rates. Number 1, head forward posture. We look at Wolff's Law. Wolff's Law states that healthy bone or bone will remodel in the area of stress. With head forward posture, we know the base of that neck around C5, C6 is going to get a lot of pressure from the weight of the head, and you're going to develop osteophytes that are trying to buttress and protect that area, right? So degeneration caused by head forward posture. So we're implementing a hygiene regimen to fix the cause of that problem, right? L5, if you look on anybody's x-rays, you're going to see a decreased disc height or dehydration at L5. Sitting, sedentary lifestyle, we're just not getting the imbibition. We're not getting motion or movement at L5 in order to pump nutrients in, waste materials out, so those areas are degenerating. That's why we have them do the daily hygiene wobble disc exercise for effectiveness. So we're addressing those 2 areas. So spinal hygiene can, yes, help you get better results in your office by helping that patient prevent spinal degeneration and maintain what you're doing in your office between their visits. It also will help them to create a mindset, an awareness that wasn't there before, that they should take care of their spine for the rest of their life. It will help you to build compliance and retention. We found in my offices personally that people who practice these daily hygiene exercises are more likely to, number 1, finish their corrective care plans. How frustrating is it that when you finally sign someone up for a care plan and then they don't finish their care plan? Because if they're active in that process, understanding what they're doing, and they're doing it on a daily basis with their spinal hygiene exercises, they're more likely to finish that corrective care plan. And then number 2, that person who makes it to the end of their care plan doing their spinal hygiene exercises on a daily basis, they've got this mindset of lifetime care, right? So hygiene means lifetime. A lot of times we're trying to sell corrective care plan, corrective care plan. Well, corrective care plan, like, to me, means we're done when it's corrected. I mean, that just makes sense. Like, okay, I'll do a corrective care plan. When we're done with that, it'll be corrected. I'm done with you. But if they're doing their corrective care plan and their hygiene, their spinal hygiene, then their mindset is more like, I'm going to do this forever. I'm brushing my teeth forever. There's no end to that. That would be ridiculous. I'm going to keep my dentist forever because I'm going to continue to go back for checkups. So that person's more likely to become a lifetime patient. And you can ask any dentist in the world, and they'll tell you people who brush and floss daily and do the best to take care of their teeth those are their lifetime patients. So I don't have to sell you on this or tell you about this. Just look at the dental profession. And then also what we found is that patients who do these exercises, they are more likely to be your patients that refer other people. Why? Because they understand, again, what lifetime care actually is and how to take care of their spine. And they're telling people about that. So, so you've probably already seen the buttons at the bottom below this video. Excuse me. Um, on the main site, you can either buy a 10-pack or a 20-pack. We've got dozens of chiropractic offices that are using these home spinal care kits, these spinal hygiene kits in their practices. It's $512 for a 10-pack, $997 for a 20-pack, and basically the breakdown is here. Your cost is about $50 a kit, right? Either way you go, it's give or take about $50 a kit. And then we suggest that you put them in your care plans, which is what I do, put them in my care plans at $117. And then that means your profit is $67 per kit. So 10 kits, every 10 kits, you're making $670. Think about how that bumps up your per visit average, right? So you're not only bumping up your per visit average a couple of dollars, but you're building a community and a mindset in your patients of lifetime spinal care. You're giving them a value that they've never had before, the ability to actually take care of their spine and understand that they're why and that they're taking care of their spine. And so, of course, you're welcome to look through that website any time of the day. Those prices are the same. They never change. Spinalhygieneproducts.com. And they'll be there for you, right? But I did want to do something special just because you're here on the webinar. And this is something that I haven't done this since we actually launched this back several years ago at this low of a price. But we have a spinal hygiene members area. Some of you may have already got our in-office workshop and our lunch and learn workshop, where we have even more programs than lunch and learn and in-office workshops as well in this program. And so what I wanted to do was help give you an even bigger, better discount on the kits and offer that for just $197 a month. We'll send you 5 kits per month. And if you think about that, right, you're actually getting them at around $39 per kit instead of $50 per kit if you're on this $197 a month shipment. And if you're putting these in your care plans at $117 or just selling them to your patients at $117, then you're going to be making, for every 10 kits you sell, $780. So you're actually making more money by selling the kits and saving more money by doing this monthly program. Plus, I want to add in all the bonuses that you get, plus some really cool waiting room DVDs. I'll show you all about those. I just wanted to give you this, that big yellow button below the video here that says, I think, webinar special. That's what this is. It's just a one-time offer. In 24 hours, I will take this offer off the table. But if you wanted to join, now I have a lot of people who have joined this program at $297 a month. Okay. So we were giving and all the bonuses for $297 a month, and they were still doing great, making money off the kit, selling it. I lowered it to $197 just for you guys, just for this one time, if you wanted to take advantage of that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. Awesome. I'm back. And let me see if anybody has any questions. I wanted to take you through, though, and show you all the bonuses that you get if you join that $197 a month program. So I'm actually going to just share that with you here. Let me share my screen again. All right. So this was I think this page actually still has it as $297. So what you do is you get access to our private Facebook group if you're not already on there. We do live calls every Wednesday, so we'll be live tomorrow as well. You get the entire Lunch and Learn program. I know a lot of you have the Lunch and Learn program. The in-office workshops, how to do spinal hygiene workshops in your office. A lot of you have this program already as well. But we also have the in-school curriculum, so help educate your youth by providing a professional textbook spinal hygiene education to students in a classroom setting. And we do trainings. We try to get into elementary schools, junior highs, high schools to share spinal hygiene with them. Dentists did this, right? Dentists got into schools and shared dental hygiene. It's gotten a little bit harder, I will say, because of the crackdown on schools. They're not letting very many people in anymore. But we still want to share this with our youth as much as possible. So you might even have kids in your office that you're able to share this with. The Posture Cure is in this program. That's Dr. Zano. I work closely with him, his corrective care exercises, and that's That's actually comes with the program there. The Spinal Hygiene DVD, and the first edition and the second edition. Of course, you get 5 free kits a month in this program. And I'm going to throw in my spinal screening program, which is normally $297, the new patient retention DVD, which is a great waiting room DVD I shot with Dr. Chris Zano. And then the waiting room DVD, the bulletproof DVD, that's Dr. Dan Sullivan. If you haven't seen this, it's the science behind chiropractic and science behind the subluxation and the adjustment. And it explains that to your patients in your waiting room. Those are super cool bonuses that you all get. Now, I used to have a quarterly membership or a yearly membership. I don't even do those anymore because it's just so hard to track those and people forget what they're paying for. They would literally send me an email like, hey, why did my credit card get charged, right? So I don't even do quarterly or yearly memberships anymore, just monthly memberships for $297. And for $297, they get all those bonuses, and you get 5 kits a month. But like I said, on the webinar, if you hit the big yellow button, webinar special, you'll be taken to a page where you can actually join that program for just $197 a month, and you'll be on there getting the 5 kits a month. And that's just the webinar special I wanted to do. If not, you're always welcome to go to our spinalhygieneproducts.com site, and you can check out our products and programs there. I'm going to go ahead and close out again. Awesome. And answer any questions that you might have. This was a 30-minute webinar. That's not too bad. Awesome. And I hope you enjoyed the training there. We, every Wednesday we're live in the Spinal Hygiene private Facebook group, and so we're always doing trainings there as well. But I just feel like if we can all join together and we can start sharing this message with patients and with our communities, and then this begins to get viral and begins to grow. Don't be like that dentist back in the early 1900s where you say, I just don't think people will do it, right? Or I've had people tell me that, oh, people just won't do it. They're not going to take the time to do anything preventative or any type of exercise. They brush their teeth, they floss. They didn't always do that, right? They built it into their habit systems and our culture, and we accepted that, right? Don't be that dentist that says you can't prevent tooth decay, right? You can't prevent spinal degeneration. Of course, you're not going to prevent every bit of it, but you can have an effect on it. We can start to dilute it. We're at epidemic proportions right now in our society. Something's got to be done eventually, or people are just going to have back surgeries at younger and younger and younger ages, right? And then, don't be that dentist that thinks you're going to put yourself into obscurity because people are going to take care of their spine at home and they're not going to want to come into your office. That's not true either. In fact, what you'll be doing is you'll be creating an awareness that wasn't there before, and you'll be teaching your patients that they do need to take care of their spine or it will break down, and they need you and they need your help to be able to do that. So thanks again. Thank you so much for being on the webinar. Appreciate you guys staying all the way through. If you ever have any questions, if there's anything I can do to help you, don't hesitate to reach out. And if there is no other questions, I'll refresh this screen one more time. Then we can adjourn the webinar for tonight. Awesome. Very cool. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you have a great night, a great rest of your week. Keep sharing the message, keep pushing, keep trying to grow that practice and reach more people, because you're definitely changing lives with what you're doing. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.